We've got a drum and a bass track, so let's add something more melodic. Close the canvas by selecting the cross icon in the top right corner. In the Sound menu, open Search Instruments again and select a melody instrument you like. I'm using muted synth strings, but feel free to choose one you like. Stamp the instrument on a new row of the timeline, then open it up with L1 and X. Play some notes on the canvas. Try out the effect fields. See if you like the instrument. The longer you hold the buttons down, the longer the notes will be. Try moving your imp in and out of effect fields while holding notes. Melodies can be very simple and still be very expressive. If you need some inspiration, try playing this. X, square, triangle, circle, X. I really like this effect field in the top right. It gives it a brighter sound. Click R3 to play along to the music you've already recorded. When you're ready to record, select the metronome and count-in buttons on the canvas. Rewind time with L3, then click L3 and R3 together to start recording. Play it back with R3. I think Cuthbert will love it. Have another go if you want to. Just delete all the notes using the red cross button in the top left of the canvas. Hopefully you're starting to get the hang of playing music with your controller. But performing in freeform view isn't the only way to record music. In the next step, I'll show you how you can edit instruments directly using the piano. Performing music is a great way to have fun and jam with musical ideas. But it's not the only way to make music in dreams. Let's try editing one of the tracks we've recorded. If you don't already have it open, use L1 and X to open your melody recording. To the right of the name, you'll see a few buttons. The Selected button, with the imp on it, is the one for freeform view. Next to it is a button with some music notes on it. Select it with X to switch over to piano roll view. You can quickly switch between freeform and piano roll using a shortcut. Just hover anywhere over the canvas, hold L1 and press the touchpad button. Piano roll view is like a timeline, but it shows you all the individual musical notes recorded in the instrument. Each row is a different note, and the higher rows are a higher pitch. On the left edge of the piano roll, there's a keyboard. Press X on the keys to hear the note for each row. Click R3 to listen to the music in this view, and click L3 once done. In piano roll view, you can use the Move tool in all the normal ways. You can grab and move any of the notes using R2. Select them with X, delete them with triangle, and undo and redo with the left and right buttons. Looks like I didn't quite hit the start of the bar with this note, but I can easily fix that by grabbing the note with R2. Notes can also be extended. Find a note that you'd like to change the length of. Looks like I played this one a little short. Move in closer to the note and hover over it with your imp. You'll see a trim handle appear on the end. Grab it with R2 and use your imp to drag the note out longer or shorter. Move on to the next step when you're ready. Music is all about repetitions and patterns, and cloning notes on the piano roll is a great way of creating these. You can clone individual notes by holding L1 when you grab them. But by selecting notes, you can clone the whole melody. Hover your imp over any note, then double press X, and all the notes will be selected. You can also use this shortcut for selecting all items on a timeline or all the objects within a scope. Look over your performance in piano roll view and see where you can improve it. Use the beat and bar lines to arrange the notes so that they're in time. When you have notes selected on the piano roll, the Snap Notes button appears in the context menu. This button snaps all the selected notes to the nearest grid line. This is really useful for tightening up a performance. You don't have to make it perfect, though. Sometimes, when you have notes selected on the piano roll, the Snap Notes button appears in the context menu. This button snaps all the selected notes to the nearest grid line. This is really useful for tightening up a performance. You don't have to make it perfect, though. Sometimes it's the little nuances and inconsistencies that give a piece of music its character. When you've finished editing the notes, move on to the next step, where I'll show you some more ways to use the piano roll. We've seen how the piano roll can be useful for editing a performance, but you can also compose directly onto it. If you don't still have your melody open it up again with L1 and X. You can switch between freeform and piano roll view with L1 and the touchpad button. Now go to the Sound menu and select Tools. Here you'll find some of the tools you're used to using, like Move, Clone, and Delete. The button with the pencil icon is Draw Notes. Select it with X. With the Draw Notes tool, you can use R2 to place notes directly onto the piano roll. Add some extra notes to the melody using Draw Notes. Hold R2 to draw longer notes. If you hold L1 and then press and hold R2 while using Draw Notes, you can even draw notes freehand. When you're done drawing notes, play it back with R3. The new notes I added in the piano roll sound different from the ones played in freeform view. That's because the notes drawn on the piano roll are not in an effect field. But there is a way to move notes into or out of an effect field. I'll show you how to do that in the final step. To move notes into effect fields, we need to go back to freeform view. Hold L1 and press the touchpad button to quickly switch views. Whenever you enter freeform view, your imp will always start performing. We don't need that right now though, so select Stop Performing in the context menu or hold L1 and press Circle over the canvas. Your imp will now be equipped with the Move tool. We can see how most of the notes were played in this effect field. But the ones added with the Draw Notes tool are in the centre of the canvas, away from the effect fields. If you can't see them, you might need to rewind time with L3. Rewinding time will condense all the notes on the freeform canvas, so you can see them all. To put the notes into the effect field, just grab them with R2. You can also select the notes with X. If you select notes, then switch views with L1 and the touchpad button, those notes will also be selected in piano roll view. Piano roll and freeform view are powerful tools on their own, but using them together, they're even more powerful. Practice using them to finish off the piece. There are plenty of instruments in the collection to try out. You can also find the finished song from this tutorial in the tutorial collection. When you're finished composing, head into play mode to listen to your composition in full.